How are you? How was once you crown?
I think it was pretty, I think things went well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God, that's such good news.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was able to talk to a lot of people, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're so happy.
And there was nothing like, no like bad blood or anything from what I could tell.
Oh
You know, there was alcohol around, I think. That worry was fortunately not too bad.
We're so happy to hear that. So what was some of the advice, like what were some of the things people said?
Yeah, we were talking a little bit, like clarifying, I guess, like what was in my head at the time, because I haven't put anything publicly about that. Yeah. It was good to like have that kind of conversation.
Yeah.
And I guess they were glad to hear that I'm not going to be putting that in emails.
Aww.
Stuff like that.
Happy to hear you had like a good experience with your peers yesterday.
Yeah.
We were a little anxious, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just didn't want anything to happen.
Yeah. I appreciate the good thoughts.
So, have you thought at all about like an email to Balsa?
I'm thinking about it. I think the email kind of isn't where I'm at. But at the same time, I was also thinking about it. I slept on it. Finally got a good sleep, and I'm thinking about maybe. I think it would be even more appropriate to like maybe clear the air a little bit in the group me. I'm not sure, but and like actually, at the very least, to make it clear that to everyone, not just the people that you would forward things to, that my DMs are open. That I am reading the messages in the group me because I haven't responded in there at all. So I think you're right that just leaving it wouldn't be the best thing. So I think that's kind of a compromise I was thinking.
Okay. Have you thought about what language you would use?
Not super closely. I think I'll think about that over the next few hours after the meeting.
Yeah, I want so much for this to be over for you as soon as possible. I do think that writing to the group me is a really beautiful way of trying to set the record.
Yeah.
And I hopefully, depending on the language you use, I actually think it could be very effective.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as long as there are no sort of, caveats about your apologizing. I do think that's very good to hear. But I do think alongside the group meeting, even just writing to, just saying, I'm not sure if you had a chance to see what I wrote in the group meeting, but I hope you do, because I know Balsa was particularly affected by my note. I know you have this,
I'm very active in the group meeting, so I think Plan A is assuming that she'll see it.
You are? Okay, got it. Yeah, I just, I know it would mean something to her and to Balsa, because I do think Balsa would like to move on from this too. I don't think anyone's looking to make this live on from, but I do know Balsa's been really upset, and we've actually had to extend some mental health resources to members of Balsa because of this, and it's just, there's something I just wanted to make sure you had the whole picture before you made a decision about next steps. Mm-hmm. You would just send your note directly to the students. You wouldn't have to give it to us first. I was thinking if you wanted to write in an email and then also post to the group meeting, you could totally do that too. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I remember you telling me was that like you didn't want to get into a back and forth with anyone over an electronic platform. And so the group me, I think is good. I do think inviting over email to meet with you in person if they want to talk more is a way maybe to remove you from having to do this over group me.
Maybe.
Would you be open to meeting in person if we did something for the both of you, or if I did something for the both of you?
Honestly, I think I've had enough official OSA scheduled meetings for a while. I was hoping this one was going to be the last one.
For like ever?
Yeah. I guess we have the student rep meetings, but those are a little different.
Yeah.
I was definitely hoping this would be like the last meeting. Not that you're not great. Just
All right.
It's been a long week. I have response papers that are due on over the weekend that I haven't been able to do any of the readings for.
So
Yeah.
that's totally fine. You know, part of what we don't want is for you to feel continuously interrupted in your day-to-day life.
Yeah, that was why I was checking like 116 Crown to kind of see the vibe a little bit. And didn't really feel like there was any bad blood going around. So I think.
Yeah, I mean, I do think 116 Crown wasn't everyone.
Yeah.
And it certainly doesn't sound like you had a chance.
It's not everyone, but it feels like it would be a representative slice of the law school.
Yeah, I know you don't want to do this anymore. I know you're like ready to move on. I know you're like, I'm over this. Like, I made a mistake. It feels like it really blew up in my face, and I know you don't want to do this. I get it. I don't want you to, and trust me, we don't want to have meetings like this with you. We want to talk about rep stuff and event planning, and we don't want to do this here. But I'm just saying, for us, would it be okay if we did tell the students that we're writing back to that like you are available to meet with them in person if they'd like to, and that you are planning on writing something to the group meeting? We didn't write to the students last night because you had asked us to wait until 116 pounds.
I think I'd rather not have you say that I'm planning on writing something to the group meeting yet, because I'm still like deciding. But saying that they're welcome to reach out to me is definitely good.
Okay, got it. And like Dean Cosgrove was saying, that might feel hard for them.
Yeah.
Like they would.
That's what I was thinking. Like when I have something in the group meeting, so that they feel more comfortable responding on that. Because it sounds like what you guys are agreeing on is that that's probably more comfortable than meeting in person, considering no one's reached out to me directly.
Okay. So I do think the group meetings I do think it's a good idea. As long as it's an apology. So I know you said, you're not sure if you're going to yet. I think you probably should.
Okay.
And I think it would be easier for us, in our own sort of write-up of this to say, that.
Oh yeah, because I think you said we were going to do the write-up on this today.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll wait to hear from you about the group meeting.
Okay, because I thought this meeting was to do the write-up.
Yeah, perfect. Well, we would write it up.
Yeah.
And we would say, we left it off with Trent that he would try to issue some sort of a apology or statement to the group meeting. Does that sound good? Would you rather us leave it open? Just say we spoke to Trent, he understands.
I think we spoke.
Happened.
I think because you invited me to.
So can we? But you haven't made a decision about.
I don't think the group meeting has much to do with.
Well, but just
summarizing.
Just that you would. We don't want to meet about this again.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to do this. You don't want to do it. We don't want to do it. We don't want students to email us about this. We want everything to just sort of stop. Right now, the last 2 days of like our work schedules have been completely interrupted with claims that like a Yale Law School student invited students to a blackface party. We talked at length yesterday about how that wasn't even what you were thinking, and that's not what you did. And you took time out of your schedule yesterday to go to 116 Crown and clarify for your peers and your classmates that that's not what you were intending to do. You understand that the language is offensive, and you won't be using that language anymore. That, to us, is very satisfying. Okay. You met with us twice. You clearly showed initiative. You expressed that, like, your heartfelt apologies that like students felt like that's what you were doing. You were just trying to be sort of provocative in your email invitation. No one is making an assessment of your character. Right now, we have students who have written to us and said, this rises to the level of discrimination and harassment. The both of you are discrimination and harassment resource coordinators. In your official capacities in that role, we want you to investigate this complaint. That's why we're moving like this. Our suggestion for this to end for you and for us is to tell the people who are writing to us that you are sorry. Culturally, we are at a point right now where the expectation would be that you would write to the black students who felt so traumatized by your note and I explained to you some of the history why, that you are sorry to them. That's our professional recommendation given the 360 perspective we have on this. You came up with the suggestion of a group meeting because you're like, you both don't know, but this has been happening a lot on the group meeting. Or writing a lot on the group meeting. I think it makes more
it feels like
sense.
a lot of it is like
Yes.
a missing translation of
100%.
things. The analogy I was thinking of is me saying I wanted the Rams to slaughter the Bears on Sunday night.
Yeah.
If people don't understand that's talking about a football game, that can sound like I'm inciting violence.
Yes.
But I'm not inciting violence.
But you're not. And
so I think clearing the air a little bit on that will hopefully be a.
What we want from you, I don't want to be in the middle. I don't want to forward an apology from you to other people. I'm
happy to take over.
Okay, and so that we will leave it with you that like you plan on writing a group me message.
Yeah.
That's it. We're done. Okay, and if the group me apology falls short and there's more that is sort of blowback or contributes even worse, for the record, I offered to help, and you were going to take it over yourself. And if this gets bigger and bigger, we'll just see what happens.
If it gets bigger and bigger, hopefully it won't. But I think I feel like I'd still rather have the reins at the very least.
That's fine. We are not like the big spooky government that wants to intervene in the lives of libertarians. We are not those people. I'm not trying to handhold you through this, or I'm not trying to make you write something you don't want to write. I want you to go back to being a law student with ordinary responsibilities. I don't want to have to do this with you anymore. It's the last thing I ever want to do in my job is to have to deal with things that I've had to deal with the last 2 days. And I've met with you, and the FedSop, I was shown the original email that you wrote to FedSop for the invitation.
Yeah.
And I honestly, Trent, I'm being honest with you, I don't know what happened. I don't know how that invitation to FedSop Federalist became the invitation you wrote to Knowles students.
FedSoc is very professional in their email style.
Yeah.
So I had to
trust
me.
I was involved with FedSoc, but I was a law student. I used to work with them on certain things. We were on committees together. I get it. Trust me. I've never in my life, since I've been in this job, seen this many students upset and in need of counseling services. This email has been, it's been seen by other faculty and other staff. And Dean Cosgrove can tell you, the general consensus is just this is really offensive. Sometimes people don't know exactly what trap means, and they look into it, and then they're like, oh, now I get it. And they're like, the Popeye's fried chicken thing. No one understands why you wrote that email. I don't understand why you wrote that email. But what I do know is that you are apologetic, you've expressed remorse, and that you want to move past this. That's the part of you that we want to collectively memorialize, right? I don't want to get into any more of what led to it, what you were thinking. That's not important to us. I do firmly believe that direct communication off of a group meeting would be the best plan A. I think it also makes sense to do plan A and your plan. You have told me, Yaseen, you're very vocal on the group meeting. You told me yesterday that you had some upset and resentment that people even went directly to a group meeting. You were like, why wouldn't you just email me? You said during the rep meeting that you were dissatisfied that no one came up to you and had a direct conversation with you. You felt like people were just talking around you. I understand from you your own frustration about this. You were like, if we are a community and we're a community of peers, and I wrote something that was upsetting, why wouldn't someone come talk to me directly? I understand that from your perspective. And I can only imagine what it felt like for you to see your name being passed around a group.
Mm.
And I can only imagine. But I want you to know that we see all of it.
Mm.
We see all of it. And in every conversation you've had with someone where you've come up, it's always been about how you just didn't understand that this meant this. And that's it. We've left it there. But in conversations with you, we've also been very honest about how it's upset other people and what we think makes the most sense for you to do moving forward to just kind of put this away. You're still in FEDSOC. You're still involved with NALSA. I understand there's this new procedure now where someone's going to screen the emails that go out. But I can imagine for you, there's a little bit of frustration that you feel like this is all a lot and you didn't mean it. Like, I get that. So I just want you to know I'm not sort of in my own head in this, okay? I see it all. I see where you're coming from. Dean Cosgrove knows I've done a lot of conveying to other people that this has been hard for you too, to sort of come to terms with all of this suddenly. You didn't sleep last night. We're very grateful to the universe that you had a good experience at 116 Crown. Really we are, because we've seen things like this continue to get worse and worse. So it's really, this is good. So we will leave it with you to write a group me. I would appreciate, given the amount of time and energy that we've spent trying to address this, if you would at least just show us the group me after you sent it. If not, I'm sure someone else will do it immediately, know. But I do hope that it is, and my recommendation as someone who does this work, is that it's an apology hard stop, and it's directed, there's something in there that acknowledges, even in the smallest bit, how hard this must have been for Black students. And that might be against some, your own belief system or your own perspectives on this matter. But there have been some students that have apologized to BALSA on your behalf and on behalf of the email, and they have used some of that language, the Black tropes and the stereotypes that the email perpetuated. And some people have said to me, how could he write fried chicken? They've acknowledged that. Our understanding is that it's gone away after that. And by it, I mean a lot of the anger or the frustration or the trauma or the hurt. Because I do think being a Black person in this country comes with a very unique experience of racism, both blatant, explicit, and structural. And I think our collective humanity requires that we acknowledge that lived experience, even if it's not our own. And I know you've done some incredible work before you got here for racial equity. And I know who you are as a person, and I don't think any of this reflects accurately on you. I just wanted to name all of that.
Thanks.
Yeah. So we will just wait to see.
So should we work on the
Yeah.
write-up part?
Yeah, let's work on it. No, we can work on it, and then
Okay.
we'll show it to you.
Okay, because I thought that you wanted to meet with me
Just
to
see what you. This
Okay.
is just to get to the resolution.
Okay.
So our understanding is that we met, we spoke about the different aspects of this issue. We spoke about the way that it's affected students. We discussed the way that it's affected Black students. I will say there was some critiques about basic bitch being sort of vulgar language. Some people didn't understand that as like a cultural reference, so that pejorative framework of women was also brought to our attention as a critique of your writing. But I just want to name that as a component of what we talked about, the classist features, trap and that association, so there's a bit of classism in there. But I think we've done our diligence as resource coordinators to educate you on the context of the email through the eyes of a DEI lens. And you told us that you would be available to meet with students if they'd like to speak with you in person, and that you're going to work on something to the group.
Mm.
And that's
Sounds
it.
good.
All right, and then if you work on this thing for the group me and you send it, like you were just saying that you're going to work on it in the next few hours, if you just want to tell us you sent something to the group me, we would really appreciate it.
All right.
Does that make sense? And I do want to tell you, we have these responsibilities imposed on us by the university when we get a formal complaint. We have to tell the Office of Institutional Equity and Access and the VP for Belonging at the university what we've done as a school to address this. So please don't think, this is something, that we're just, like really itching to do with you.
Yeah.
What we have to do, and we have meetings with the university quarterly, and we have to just report back.
Okay.
And I hope that this is the last time we will have to meet about this. I know you don't want to have the regulatory arm of the student affairs office in your experience on campus, but alas, here we are, bureaucracy, right? So just please do let me know. Let us know, even if it's just a text. And I know you didn't appreciate at all the characterization of your email to the 2L group, and we talked about that last night. So I know what your perspective is on the way that your email was described. I understand that, and I want you to know I hear you on that. Just let us know if you sent it.
It just felt a lot more condemnation than any of our discussions were.
It wasn't a condemnation of you. And we were very specific about the language in the email.
Okay.
And we did not, I don't know if you noticed, we did not even mention that a student wrote it. So we did everything we could to make sure that it was just about the language. Because we don't think that this is about your character or who you are as a person. But there were also calls for us to do a lot more about that. So please know that we've been in a really tough situation trying to negotiate a lot of this. And we only narrowed it to the 2L class. We didn't even write it to the 1Ls or the 3Ls. Because we knew from you and from 3 other students that it went to the group name for the 2L class. So we only wrote it to the 2L class. Like we made some concessions in our own analysis of how to approach this for you. So please know that. And we used the language pejorative and racist because it was very intentional of characterizing our understanding of the language, and quite frankly, almost a unanimously objective interpretation of it, but also so that it doesn't continue to escalate. There's a wall, there are media publications, there's Above the Law, there's law.com. We don't want this to keep getting bigger and bigger. I don't think that would be good for your mental, emotional health. So, but I have to do a real totality of the circumstances analysis of a lot of this. And my guess is you are the kind of person that is more of a sort of like, if you have a problem with me, you should talk directly to me. Why are you complaining about me to the school? Why are you writing about me to other people? I'm an adult, you're adults. We should have an adult conversation about this. That's my understanding of you and how you like to problem solve. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I can imagine for you, all of this is like very frustrating and annoying because this is antithetical to who you are as a person. Like you don't want to be doing this. Like you don't want to sit with us. You don't want to talk to us. You don't want to deal with us. You want to go to 116 Crown and talk to students face to face and just move past things. And I get that, but FedSoc, your student group, FedSoc was implicated. NALSA was implicated. It's been complicated for us. It's been very complicated. And I hope you appreciate that. Does any of this resonate?
I think so.
Do you understand, sort of the different stakeholders we've had to think about appeasing through all of this?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. So I'll wait to hear from you. It's 2:00, but I'll just wait to hear from you around 4:30 or 5. And then around then, I'll start putting together some language for Dean Cosgrove that we can send to the Office of Institutional Equity and Access. Because we'll have to put the university on notice that we received this complaint.
Okay.
But I hope by then, make the university's trying to move closer to a restorative justice approach to resolving some of these issues. Because you spent so much time with me listening and active listening to some of the cultural context, I haven't made like a formal recommendation to anyone here that I think we need to do like bias training or anything like that. Because I feel like in our conversations you've been so receptive to a lot of what I've had to say. And you made a real attempt yesterday at trying to understand this and trying to make amends with your peers. So I want you to know that I hope that your group note to the students is an apology hard stop, so that we can really just approach this through restorative justice. Mm-hmm. And we've been very respectful of FedSoc's inability to write an apology on behalf of FedSoc because of their constitution with the broader umbrella. You know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot going on. So we're trying to just manage through all that. But our Balsa students, they've been very vocal about how this has upset them. And we've even had a clinical counselor tell us in professional form that this was a very upsetting and traumatizing form of communication, and that the rhetoric used was anti-Black. So anyway, that's sort of where we are. So you don't want to use any of the language that I said to you yesterday, I don't think right now, but maybe it'll make its way into your group meeting, I don't know. But maybe. Just a suggestion. I just wanted to give you a starting point. Mm-hmm. How does that sound? Okay. And I know that this has been hard on you too, and if you would like to be connected to any resources, please do let us know. As you can tell, we have been just as invested in you as we have in everyone else. And in fact, the most attention has really been on you in trying to help you get past this. Does that sound okay? I think so. Okay, and if there's anything else you want to say, just call me later. Okay. I'm around. I know you don't ever want to see me again. Trust me, I don't want to see myself either. Every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, I'm horrified at what I'm looking back at, So I'm with you, but I hope you kind of see everything. So, does that sound okay? Yeah. All right, so I hope that this is sort of it. 2:04 p.m. on a Friday, we could put this to bed for now. But just let us know what you'll do with the group me in a few hours. And if you decide you don't want to do it, then you don't want to do it. Just tell us. Mm-hmm. I mean, we think you should, but my preference again would have been just to one person.
Yeah, I think at this point there are a lot of bystanders that.
Yeah, I know. You want to clarify for everyone, and I think you just also want people to know that you have apologized to them too, maybe. So yeah, I do hope though, Trent. I don't know what you're thinking.
I remember what you said before is that if I say nothing, it just stays as Black mockery, and so I want to clear the air on that one.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
That's important.
Yes, exactly. Just narrow the exactly.
So I think because a lot of what's been going on in the group, I think they've been expanding email into the thing that wasn't even in the language of it.
Yeah. That's the other thing. It's like the language wasn't even.
Because they're saying, I know one thing they're saying, trap house theme, which
not true.
Yeah.
You just said.
So I want to clear the air on some of that stuff. I think that's important. A lot of the bystanders, they're only hearing about it from the sidelines, they're not actually reading through it. Yeah. That's why I think it might actually be good to put some background facts in there.
Yes, I think that totally makes sense. I think overall, what's important is.
And a lot of people think that it's like a FedSoc thing. You saw the FedSoc thing. I'll probably put that in there as well.
Yeah, I think what's important, overall, first few months, before you get into defense mode, you can say, I think it's important to say in the first few lines, as someone who's written dozens of these, I just want to write to the group and apologize for any upset or frustration that this has caused. And you can say and be like, and I know this has been, I first want to apologize for any upset or frustration that this has caused. I know this has been especially upsetting for our Balsa students. And I'm sorry for that. and then maybe you can say, I just want you to know that this is not at all what I was thinking. I was thinking trap in the sense that this is like a bachelor pad. And fried chicken was just the food we were ordering that was like just on theme with Constitution Day. And I just feel like, and you can even see, here's the Federalist, invitation that I drafted below. It wasn't at all like this. I thought I was being fun for ALSA students. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound okay?
I think it makes sense. I'll think about tweaking maybe, think about the ordering.
Yeah. I do think if you want people to get through it without being like, why is he trying to defend himself, which is going to make it worse, and then make it look like we've been wasting time this week, I think you might just want to first start with those two lines. Like, I first want to apologize for any, frustration or upset this caused. I know this has been particularly upsetting for our ALSA students. I'm sorry for that. Period. If you write those two sentences right at the beginning, guarantee you everyone else will be more receptive to your state of mind at the time that you wrote the email.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you should know in the way that you will one day go on to do something incredible in the profession. I'm sure you strike me as a very good lawyer. I might be wrong, but I think you will make a great lawyer. My career is this, like my 24 hours a day is this. So I'm giving you a little bit of just a little bit of that.
Okay.
But I think a group me, clearing the air for onlookers, for bystanders, for whatever, our upstanders, people that have spoken up against this, like I think this makes good sense.
Okay.
But I do suggest strongly, that apologies just, and see, if you notice, I didn't make you say racist, I didn't make you say prejudicial, I didn't, or I didn't tell you to say it was, pejorative. I think just like, I just want to first apologize, and that, and it's, you're not necessarily apologizing in a way where it's like, I wrote this email this way, so I'm apologizing for being that kind of person. You're just apologizing for the email because it caused this type of reaction. Mm-hmm. It's more complicated than people assume.
I might even put them in two separate messages, so it's at least clear that it's in there, someone's skimming through.
So we're happy to take a hit from anyone who's like, where are you? We haven't heard from you, to give you some time to think about the group me message. But I do hope that you're able to get at least the 2-sentence apology out on the group me by the time we get back to the students. And we will wait to hear from you till then.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. I hope you know this is all because we care about you.
Thank you.
It really, really is. And Dean Cosgrove will tell you, I don't have to do my job like this. I want to do my job like this. Mm-hmm. But I could have just, I could have written you an email that said this was wrong and gone away. But the university has changed in its approach to a lot of these issues. And you're a law student, and there's a bar you have to take, and it's just, we think it's important to really give you a 360 view. So. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you for coming. I hope this is the last time we ever have to meet about this. But if it's not, you have my number and we'll talk.
Okay.